Hey, so it's been a while since we did one of these. I believe it or not, I actually wrote one up, which was I thought pretty good, but I couldn't get it past YouTube's copyright sniffing software because I used a 3-second clip of an ACC football game, and I couldn't get them to allow me to use that under fair use. So it's parked away, hidden, and shan't be seen the light of day. But thankfully, someone called me out on points that I made last spring and asked if I was ever going to follow up because I had been an ardent proponent of a theory, and they wanted to know how that theory was panning out. Now, kind of a little trigger warning here. This does involve everyone's favorite promotional program in UB's history. Whether you loved the New York Bulls initiative or you hated it, it divided us. And in some ways, it's better off gone for that reason alone. But since someone reached out and asked, I thought I'd have to maybe put one more nail in the coffin. And for those of you who really, really dislike even talking about that, I do feel really bad, honestly. I really feel like I'm putting you through something maybe a little unnecessary, but when someone reaches out to me and asks me directly, am I going to follow up on something I had said? I kind of feel like I have to. So please accept my apologies in advance. If you really are that bothered by all New York Bulls stuff, you can go ahead and click out here and don't thumb up my video, however you want to handle that. But we have the initial tweet that came out was Bob had asked if I was going to track attendance and sales versus the UB Sports this year versus the New York Bulls initiative, since I wrote articles last year which supported the initiative. And I don't know if I'm reading Bob's tweet wrong here or Bob read my articles wrong. I don't believe that I ever said the New York Bulls initiative was helping attendance. I may have said attendance was up, but in my mind, if not in my words at that time, I said that to disprove people who said it was holding back attendance. I'm a firm believer that the attendance and the New York Bulls initiative had literally nothing to do with each other. I think the other things that Danny White brought, the Stampede Square, the concerts, the publicity, all of that I kind of saw as separate from the New York Bulls initiative. That was stuff that we're still doing. So, and the football teams were, better or worse. They're definitely better than they were this year. So there's a lot of things that go into attendance. The days games are played on, the opponents, how the team is playing. I don't think the big New York State in the middle of the field impacted it one way or another. So when I said, hey, look, we're getting, our best ticket sales ever, I wasn't saying that to say, and it's because of that big New York in the field. But to look further into this and just to demonstrate how irrelevant it's been, let's look at this year. Let's take a look. So one of two things is going to happen. Either attendance is going to be better than last year, in which case the Buffalo people can point their finger at me and say, nah, 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 nah. Or the attendance is going to be worse, in which case I can say, see, it had nothing to do with it. New York Bulls didn't boost attendance, but it certainly didn't hurt it. And the prevailing idea that was getting pushed by some people was that NYBI was killing attendance. And I kind of tackled this when the New York Bulls initiative was shuttered last spring. And I wrote an article in which I said, it's time for the people who swore up and down that the New York Bulls initiative was holding back support from the people of Buffalo to put up or shut up. I'd expect better press coverage, more season ticket sales, and in general, an end to the incessant hand-wringing I have watched over the last couple of years perpetrated by people who were not season ticket holders on Saturdays before NYBI. And that's kind of my point. The press coverage has gotten better. I honestly believe it has. If I had to guess as to why, I'd say it's because Danny White is gone. and Alan Green does a far better job with the local media than Danny White did. I don't think we're getting better press coverage because we're not New York anymore. It's certainly taken away one of the several weapons that certain curmudgeons at the Buffalo News would use, but I don't think it's the reason why they're treating us any better. So, just a quick run through this. Here were the first 5 games of this year, post New York Bulls Initiative, versus the first 5 games of last year, pre-end of New York Bulls Initiative. As you can see, attendance is down. It is down about 1,000 people a game. The big ones I would think you would say is Albany. Obviously, they're both the season openers. We're down more than 10% for that game. And the fact that Army only drew 145 people more than Nevada is pretty sad. So take these numbers with a huge grain of salt. Like I said, I don't think that the drop in attendance has anything to do with taking that New York off field and putting Buffalo in the end zone, any more than I think the higher attendance had anything to do with the New York State being in the middle of the field. We're a worse team this year. Some of these games, there are mitigating factors. I mean, Albany in last year was on a Saturday. This year we opened on a Friday. That's a bit of a tougher sell. This year's team was playing far worse than last year's team. Smacking Akron around notwithstanding. But like I said, the Army game is honestly the one that kind of makes me raise an eyebrow. That should be a 21, 22, 23,000 ticket game. Just, it always has been. I think it was 22,000 when they were here back in 2008. But it wasn't. So, nothing has been proven here. Either nothing has been proven other than putting Buffalo in the end zones did not bring people out. And why would it? People will come out when they see a good product on the field. And when you do that for many years in a row, then people will endure a bad season or 2 or 3. But you can't do what Buffalo's done, which is have a good season in 2008, have a decent season in 2013, and then have just mediocre to bad seasons every other year and expect the community to come out. Unfortunately, we're not a college town. There's a lot of things for people to do with their money. There's professional football, professional hockey, AAA baseball. So UB has to win. So, Bob, there it is. That you asked, and there's the answer. Attendance is down. I wouldn't chalk it up to it being Buffalo versus New York. I'd chalk it up to worse football. And that's all I got. So, thanks a lot, and I will talk to you all later.